Alright guys, we have been slowly but surely making some progress here on the truck. As you can tell by the front here, we got the transmission cooler in. It's not plumbed yet. Still waiting for the lines to show up on that. The intercooler is like halfway mounted in there. I got one, I guess it's quarter mounted in there because I got one bolt holding it on. Under here we have the brakes all done and bled. Power steering system is plumbed and is full of fluid. The fuel system is plumbed and primed all the way, including the return line. Still kind of working on the wiring. That's just kind of been while I'm waiting for parts, you know, slowly hook up this and that. We got a relay block in there. Got a fuse block. I didn't realize they sold these things. I found it at AutoZone for 20 bucks. So that gives me 6 spots to hook up whatever. So gonna work on finishing up the intercooler today, or getting it mounted at least, and then I guess start putting some other stuff back together. I don't know. Once I get the transmission lines in, we'll be able to fire it up. But I don't have a drive shaft yet, so there's really not a whole lot of point in firing it up, but just for fun, just to listen to it, I guess. I don't know. But I ordered my intercooler piping kit, so hopefully in a week or so that'll show up and we'll be able to start to kind of plumb things in. Planning on just kind of coming out of here with a 90 and up and in and over to the turbo somehow. Gonna have to cut some holes in the inner fender well. Yeah, slowly but surely things are coming together. Guys, it's an exciting day. Well, kind of, but the truck's not gonna move, but it's gonna start. So I was looking, there's like wires going everywhere. Got the transmission cooler in and the lines done, which is the last kind of major component needed in order to fire the truck up. So it's got fuel systems plumbed up, ready to go. Power steering systems plumbed up, ready to go. It's got brake lines, all that. Intake is not done yet, so we're not, the intercooler piping hasn't shown up yet. But we have enough to test fire it and see if there's any leaks. So I'm kind of shaking because I'm excited. But I just kind of temporarily threw some wires and grounds and all that kind of stuff just to make it start, hopefully run for a minute or two. Cooling system's not done yet. I couldn't find a solid answer on you know, because I'm gonna have to use some hard line here to get where I need to go, and I could not find an answer whether intercooler piping was sufficient. I figure it's aluminum and silicone, which the top hose there is silicone, so, and it's meant to hold boost, so if it holds air, it should hold water. So I'm gonna go ahead and I ordered some of that up, so once that comes in we can plumb that up and then flush the cooling system, get some water running. Still gotta do the heater line. I should get that off the exhaust so it doesn't melt. I got my drop pitman arm. Got that put in. I still don't know if that's gonna work or not, because with as low as the truck is now, you can see how close the drag link is to this tie rod, and I'm just not sure if they're gonna hit each other as you turn back and forth. Plus, if you hit a bump or something, it looks like you can barely fit a finger between there and there. So we might need to do something a little different. But yep. Need some more juice. see anything leak?
No, I just saw smoke come out of it though.
Plus, something's doing something then if it's smoking. Well, we had a fire for a minute, but I said that kind of fast. We didn't have a fire for a minute. We had it fire for a minute, but it died, so thinking there might be still some air in the fuel system. But it's definitely getting fuel, as you can tell by all the smoke. I want to show you my garage because that's a mess still. Gosh, like nobody cleans it, you know? So, we'll let the batteries charge up for a hot minute, and thinking I'm gonna have to get some new batteries because I charged both these batteries before I put them in, and they didn't want anything to do with that. So, yep. All right, so I did some digging on the truck, trying to figure out why it wasn't starting. So when I was sitting on the floor in the garage, it fired right up every time. Last time I started it, it fired right up. So did some electrical troubleshooting. I swapped back the ECM harness. I swapped back to the one that came with the engine that just had the essential 5 wires hooked to it, and same thing. And after it initially fired, the smoke went away, so it wasn't smoking any longer, which means that it's not getting fuel. So I did some testing, took the return line off the back of the engine, cranked it over, and there was hardly any fuel coming out of it. There was like a tiny little bit, but not what I kind of figured you'd be able to see. So I pulled the line off of this filter here, which is after the lift pump, and if I'm correct, when you crank it over, you got that line off, it should just spray fuel everywhere. It was just hardly, I mean, you could pee faster. So I'm guessing that the lift pump has gone bad, probably from sitting. Did some research, and it looks like it's like a piston style pump, so cam lobe spins and pushes the piston up and down. So I'm guessing it's got like O-rings and seals in there, and it looks like it's rebuildable. So I might be able to get like a kit and pull it apart and replace some O-rings and be good as gold. But just kind of sucks because, you know, it wasn't like ready to run drive, but I just wanted to fire it up, make sure I didn't have any leaks, you know, get the power steering system primed, see if my my drop pitman arm was the cure for that. So, which I might have to do some more thinking suspension lift. I was already kind of thinking about like an add-a-leaf, because this engine is heavy. I think it's only a couple 100 pounds more than the 7.3 was, but I'm guessing the transmission's probably heavier than the old E4OD. So we're gonna have to I'm thinking add-a-leafs, maybe shackles, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We're closer than we were when it was while it was cranking over. I tried to turn the wheel and you could feel the pump was actually working, so that's a good sign. I do have one leak though. You can't see it because there's a bucket full of diesel fuel. That's my favorite part. I was afraid that I wouldn't get covered in diesel fuel today, and luckily I did. So on top of the pump, the pressure line is leaking, so I gotta see if I can fix that. But yeah, I guess gonna call it a night and tape back up my intake, clean up some other stuff, and maybe next time I'll have more things done, so it'll be maybe next time we can just fire it up and bleed the cooling system, flush it. Who knows? It's raining out, in case you couldn't tell. One thing that does keep getting better, my fort. I don't know if you could tell or not, but we went down to the Lowe's I picked up a little bit bigger tarp. It's 16 by 12. So now it reaches further, and we put up some, I cut down some deck boards. So we now have like support for the tarp. And, don't worry, I'm still using some garden implements here to help support this, and no leaks. It's nice. And it's even steep enough in some spots that the snow just kind of falls right off. But yeah, we got plastic to go all the way around the truck, and I got a little doorway there. But now you can actually get into the truck while still being in the semi-heated space. The only issue that I have noticed is because this is all enclosed now and there's no insulation, it sweats on the inside. So like the tarp up there, it's just like, you probably can't even, oh, you can see the crystals there. That's all water droplets ready to come down. But it's better than nothing. I mean, it's raining out and it's cold out and I'm warm and dry, so can't complain. No more draft coming underneath, cooling my feet off. So yeah, I've rambled enough again. I ramble a lot. So kind of disappointing, but like my great granddaddy always used to say,